Hi, I'm Bailey. I'm a maternal health practitioner, but more importantly, I'm someone who really loves to guide people on transformative journeys like having your first baby, pregnancy, number one, number two, and just being that support system, that lighthouse when things can be overwhelming, when there could be information overload, but just being able to witness people. On their journey to becoming parents is like super meaningful and rewarding. I have supported people, women and their partners through fertility, pregnancy, birth, and postpartum as a doula for over 13 years. I'm also an IBCLC lactation consultant and childbirth educator. For me, facilitating is just something natural that kind of comes part of the work, but really it's about creating space to have people open up, to share honestly, to feel seen, held, and supported. And I just naturally do that in my work, but also in my personal life. Before I was a doula, I was a teacher. I have a master's degree in early childhood development and with a concentration in infancy. And so that's something that from the beginning I always knew that I had a particular interest in 0 to 3, the first 3 years of life. And my inquiry kind of started, learning begins in the womb, and parents are the first teachers, but parents don't have enough support. So I was like, okay, when that light bulb went off, I was like, I want to teach parents and be a support for parents instead of the kids, because again, this crucial window for not just brain development but also bonding and just laying that foundation for a healthy family is happening. And for unfortunately a lot of families it's being missed, or there's a lot of hindsight because no one I wish I would have known, or if I had that support, or if I had those resources, or I knew to use those resources, maybe I would have had a different outcome. So I really like, I'm very privileged and honored to be able to be that source of support and that catalyst for change when parents are seeking that. Naturally, facilitation is something that I do just on a regular basis, creating safe spaces for women and their partners to share openly and honestly about what they're going through, what their fears are, what their concerns are, what their excitements are, and just being a listening board. Honestly, I'm not big on unsolicited advice. I always try to reflect back what I'm hearing, and a lot of times we have the answers ourselves, but we just need to speak them out loud and in a safe way, and in a way that we feel like we're not going to be judged. And so that's a lot of what I do in my work when I facilitate lactation support groups, my fertility support groups in the past, and also just in my personal life. I'd say a lot of my friends come to me for a good listening ear, a good sounding board. I'm not someone who just gives out unsolicited advice. I'm very cautious and aware about that. That could be very triggering for a lot of people. And so really just kind of being an active listener. I'm really good at reading the room. I think that's one of the benefits about being a doula for so long, is just, I've engaged with so many different people from all walks of life, and strengths and weaknesses and fears and, areas of strength that, just being able to understand what's being said, what's not being said. And that's just not even just physical rooms, but even again, the virtual space as well, the energetics of it all. Just being a lighthouse for people is something I really enjoy. A lot of my friends will call me to just, troubleshoot, to strategize, whether it's a work thing or a relationship thing. I'm that person that people go to just to also de-escalate maybe some of their feelings. If they're feeling very stressed or overwhelmed, I kind of tend to have a more calming presence on my family and friends to help them, just get back to their center and get back to, remembering that, just kind of cliche things, but they always kind of resonate, this too shall pass. And, you're going to get through this no matter what. And, half the things that we worry about never come to pass, and the other half we can handle. And even those things I tell myself on a regular basis when I'm going through things. I generally am excited about this opportunity. I tell everyone, all my clients about Mysha Pods, because one, I've heard so much amazing things. I've also been a part of some of the experiences, and I think it's really crucial that moms have practitioners like me, but also be able to learn from each other and have that social network. I think a lot of the fears that I hear from my clients is that I'm going to do this motherhood alone and that my husband won't understand, and I'm either the first in my friend group to have a baby and I don't have any mom friends, or I'm the last person in my friend group to have a baby because I'm having my first baby in my 40s. And so there's a lot of that in this city, especially in New York. And yeah, just really liking the idea of motherhood doesn't have to be a drag. It can be joyful. Yes, there's ups and downs, and there's it's a roller coaster of sorts, but that you don't have to do it alone and that you deserve support. And I really resonate with that as far as Mysha and what you guys are doing, and how much in alignment it is with the work I do. So thanks for listening to my video, and I hope we can talk more. Bye.